Hello people, this is Moffatt from Kharischangeworks. Guys, hope you are well. In continuation with the 7 stages of grief, I want to talk about stage 6 today. Let's have a quick recap. Shock and disbelief, denial, guilt and pain that's wrapped in an inward version of anger, leads to negotiation and bargaining, which in my mind takes you to a coping mechanism as to whether it's going to take you out or deeper in. Then it leads to an anger that's a fuel, a motivator. So this is the stages as we are, and we can now see it's kind of getting upwards a little bit. And today we are talking about depression. Now you ask, why is it going up when it's actually depression? This depression here is not a depression that you get because of mental health, where you've got a depressive personality. It's not that kind of depression. This depression here is more to do with experiencing the loss and feeling of a, dare I say, a low mood. You're experiencing the fun times, the anniversaries, the Christmases, the birthdays, those kind of things. And it leaves you a little bit hollow, but you don't necessarily have to have medication or therapy for it, because this depression here is only short term, and it is not the same as the depression when you've have a depressive personality order or whatever the case might be. It's a, unfortunately again here the English fails us because it's the same word, but I would say that this is more to do with a low mood. But this depression here needs to be experienced. If you don't experience this depression where you do a bit of inward reflecting as to what's next, basically it's again linking it with here. Mind you, in some ways I suppose the anger also drives you to a place of what's my coping mechanism. So the negotiation says I need to do something. I'm going to do this and that. The anger stage says I need to do this and I'm going to achieve this. It's a coping mechanism. And in this depression, low mood phase, as you experience it, as you think about it, as you remember things, based on here and here, it's a driving force that says, I know it's short term, it's not going to last forever. I have to experience this. Give yourself time to experience it. It's a very important phase in this cycle, this 7 stages. Once you get out of this one, this low mood is the final one. And this one here, albeit that it is what it is, whatever you've negotiated, whatever you've thought of here, and whatever you've considered here, as far as your coping mechanism is concerned, will determine how good and effective this final phase is over here. Depression in the 7-step stage, whatever, cycle of grief. So you're going from shock and disbelief, denial, guilt and pain, with an inward anger, you negotiate, you become angry, you work out what you want to do. And in this phase here, because it's a little bit outside of yourself, and it's not an inward depression, it's a depression that is surrounds you, this is the time to think about your coping mechanism here, because when we get to this final phase over here, I believe it will be the acid test as to how we move forward in this grief. Now, because these are stages or phases, no one can say that this is going to take a day or two or a week or a month. You could be there for 6 months, a year. There's no fixed time to say it's going to take so long. Again, in the denial, it might take a day, it might take 3 months. We don't know. Guilt and pain, the negotiation stage, anger, this one. There's no fixed stage. There's no fixed time limit to any of these steps, shall we call them. If you've gone through some kind of loss, bereavement, grief, please put some comments in the comments box. It's not a nice thing to experience, but we need to be aware that there's a dip and then there's a curve up, as everything in life is. So there you go, my friend. Just a little motivator that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Please do all the YouTube admin, and whatever you think or experience in grief, loss, bereavement, anything like that, put the comments in the comments box. Give us the old thumbs up. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.